day, YouTuber? It's Charles here, and today I want to talk about my favorite Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn, and we're going to be talking about number 53 from the Gunslinger Spawn series. I really enjoy this series and this character for a couple of reasons. One, he does not look or act like any other Spawn in the universe, and he is the weakest Spawn, meaning that he has a level of vulnerability you don't see with She Spawn, or Medieval Spawn, or Al Simmons himself. And so he relies more on human companionship and interaction. And that's even through this series and the Deadly Tales of Gunslinger series, which is a preview. I think that they really bounced back to form recently. I was disappointed with the 50th issue because I feel like they dropped the ball with it, not featuring Gunslinger Spawn, but another overarching Spawn universe arc in that big 50th issue. But in 53, we get back to the core of the character. We tie up a loose end with Linda, who had been helping him before, and we see the budding of a new partnership with a lady named Sandra that is beginning with this. And as well, we find out that the next issue is going to be written by a new writer. It looks like it says, next issue, new writer Erica Schultz joins our team for an exciting fresh direction for Gunslinger. So I'm excited about that we're going to be getting a new focus with the Gunslinger character. This issue in particular is written by Todd McFarland, the creator of the Spawn universe himself. The art is by Raymond Gay. The colors is Ivan Nunes, and the lettering is by Tom Orzechowski. And the cover artists are Vaughn Randall and Marco Kolak. Let's see, what cover do I have? I have the A cover, so this is the Vaughn Randall cover right here. I really like this. I like the color, the gun, the pose of the gun, everything about this cover. I'll give you a couple of bullet points here. The point of my reviews is not to retell the story, but to give you bullet points, let you know where we are. And I don't want to ruin the adventure of the book for you. The true fun in comic books isn't listening to an old blur like myself talk about them, but getting into them yourself. But here we're at a very interesting point because the lady that was helping Gunslinger Spawn before, she got mistakenly arrested for being an accessory to murder when he killed this man, I guess you would call him, but not a man, but he cloaked himself as a man who had killed his sister back in the 1800s. And Linda, the lady that had been helping him, the person that he actually met when he was staying at a motel and she was being harassed and he saved her, she was helping him travel and get around because not only is he the weakest Spawn, but he's also illiterate, because he's from the 1800s. He doesn't understand technology or cars. And so as powerful as he is as a Spawn, he has elements of humanity in him that makes him a relatable character. And so they formed this kind of partnership where she was driving him around, helping him navigate the road in order to accomplish his mission. And she got caught up mistakenly in that. And so through another relationship, he ended up meeting a lawyer lady, and he ended up killing her mother and helping her out. So she worked on Linda's case for him surreptitiously. And after splitting off from her, he ended up staying in another rundown motel as under the guise of this old gentleman right here, because he can shapeshift. And when he stayed in this motel, he saw a lady who worked as put this in terms that YouTube would not be upset with, a lady that was a professional companion was getting roughed up outside of his motel room. So he intervened and saved her from these illicit customers. Let's just say, I'm hoping you get what I'm saying. But because of that, she felt indebted to him, so she offered to help him out. But over the course of their travels, she finds out that he's a wanted individual for killing the person he did, who was not quite a person. And so here, the issue starts with her freaking out and him trying to calm her down because she thinks that she's assisting a mindless killer. But he eventually calms her down and gets to explain, the whole situation to her. And he gives her a bunch of money and says, "You're free to go. It's probably not a good idea for you to be around me." And so she takes off. And he is alone and vulnerable again. And then the one spoiler I will give away is that in the next page, you see her arrive back with groceries because she wants to help Linda, the lady helped him previously. And so she's going to stick around and help him out and get her out of jail. And it's an uneasy partnership. And from the looks of it, it looks like it may be a little bit shorter lived than the one with Linda. But, overtly that's what they're saying. But subtextually, I think that we may be seeing Sandra around for at least the next few issues. She seems like a character that's going to be a very pivotal part of his story. But at the end of it, we see Linda walking free, not even knowing that Gunslinger helped her. And then, like I said, we get the announcement of Erica Schultz being the runner of the next arc of Gunslinger Spawn. So yeah, I think they are doing a couple of exciting things right now. Transitioning him to another uneasy partnership, tying up that loose end with Linda, getting to know the character even more. And I am really, really enjoying this book, and I'm hoping that even with the new writer, I've read some of Erica Schultz's work before, so I'm excited for what she can bring to it. I know that Todd McFarland will be involved, so they're going to have that consistency. Maybe it will be something like we saw with the new She Spawn, where we have an even more different look from the rest of the Spawn universe than we get already in this book. That's one thing I appreciate about the Spawn universe lately, is that every book seems to have its own aesthetic. The new She Spawn is probably the biggest dramatic shift artistically that I've seen since Sam and Twitch Case Files. Whereas She Spawn, the new book that just came out, I think I have one of my issues right here. Look at that. They already filed it away. Nope, here it is. The color palette is a lot more bright and comic booky once you get inside the new She Spawn book here, which is even different from the previous work and the Scorched. When you look at Sam and Twitch Case Files, it's very dingy and dirty, like a old 80s police procedural. So I am excited to see the new look and feel and pace of the next Gunslinger Spawn. So number 54 is one that I am anticipating more than most other issues. Definitely I'm expecting better than what they did with number 50, my least favorite issue in the whole series. So that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think about Gunslinger Spawn, the Gunslinger Spawn character and lore. They just released the first few issues in trade paperback form under the Gunslinger Spawn Origins. So you can get those first, I think it's 12, 15 issues at one good price. So check that out. And yeah, you can still find plenty of issues individually at Midtown Comics and other online retailers. But if you haven't checked it out, I highly suggest you do, even if you're not a big Spawn fan, because it combines, a more human, vulnerable Spawn than what you get with Al Simmons, and one that is frankly more compassionate and not driven, while he is driven by revenge a little bit, it is more out of love for his sister and for the people that he stumbles across that need his help. Going back to even that first issue, the young man Taylor, who was unknowingly his father was an angel and he was half angel, and Spawn kind of helped him discover himself and his powers, and kind of mentored him up until the battle against Nick's monster on the west coast of the United States. I think that was probably Spawn 3 in the mid 360s. The Scorch leading up to the Scorch 50 and King Spawn. That was a whole series wide event. So that's my thoughts. I'll see you guys next time. Stay tuned for more comic book and action figure content. But until then, keep reading them books. You know I'm going to. Uncle Blur is out.